Hello and welcome to Cupcakes and Crafts. Today I'm going to be showing you how I've made these 6 different variations of meringues. I'll leave a list of the ingredients and quantities in the description box below. We're going to first start by separating our egg whites, just back and forth with the eggshells, and whisk on a low speed until it's nice and frothy, and then we're going to add in that cream of tartar and whatever flavour you've chose. I chose vanilla for mine. And then mix back on a medium speed, and then gradually, little by little, we're just going to add in that sugar. And keep going until we get to stiff peaks, which is where when you remove your whisk from your mixture, it should hold its shape, just like this. I'll be using a wide assortment of decorations for mine, from food colouring, gold leaf, different styled piping tips, lollipop sticks, buttercream, chocolate to melt, piping bags, and you'll also need plenty of greaseproof paper. For the first meringues, I'm using a round piping tip and painting black lines on the inside of the piping bag. And on some of that parchment paper, just gently squeezing, pulling up and releasing at the same time to build a bit of a dome. These will bake in the oven for about an hour, and then once they're done you can just leave them to cool. When they were cool, I just simply attached some edible gold leaf, and I did that just by using the smallest amount of water to make the meringues a little bit tacky. And as you can see, that's created a lovely marble effect meringue decorated with gold. Next, I'm turning some of that lovely meringue mixture into a pale pink, and using some templates I made just by drawing around a circular object, I'm going to pipe on some low swirls using a star piping tip, and then again bake these in the oven for about an hour. And once they've cooled, I'm just going to match up two what's a similar size and sandwich them together with some chocolate ganache. You can use any filling you've got to hand. You could use jam, buttercream. I just had some chocolate ganache left over, so just placing that in a piping bag. We're starting and then making sandwich meringue cookies. For the next meringues, I coloured some meringue in a pale teal colour and made some larger circle templates just by drawing on the glass, then turning that parchment paper over. I also put some teal colouring inside my piping bag and paired it with a star piping tip, and then made some nice large low swirls on the back of that parchment paper. Then taking some lollipop sticks, I prefer to use a paper lollipop stick as to plastic. I just simply inserted each lollipop stick into the centre of each piped meringue, then scattered on some sprinkles to decorate and baked them in the oven. These did take longer to bake. They actually took about 90 minutes to bake, these ones. And to decorate, I just simply tied round some ribbon just to finish them off, and I stood them in my cake pop stand. And there you have it, our lollipop meringues. These next meringues were definitely one of my favourites. Taking some of that meringue mixture, I coloured it pink, yellow, purple and blue. And on a piece of cling film I just created a line up the centre of each colour, as you can see, and then fetched that cling film around itself and just tightened the ends on each side. And then cutting off one of the sides, I placed it inside a piping bag which I'd paired with a closed star piping nozzle. And then using the template from before, I piped on some high swirls, so just squeezing and releasing and fetching the mixture up on top of each other, creating a high dome. And then I baked these in the oven for around 90 minutes as well, and that created some beautiful rainbow meringue cookies. For these next meringues, I took some more of that meringue mixture, of course, and coloured it in a pale orange, and placed that in a piping bag with just a plain round piping tip, and just creating a dome as I did in the very first meringues. Once they'd cooled out of the oven, I melted just some standard milk chocolate, dipped the bottom part in and used a fork just to support me lifting them out so they didn't crack, placing them on some more parchment paper. I didn't put these in the fridge, I just left them out at room temperature for that chocolate to set. And there you have our chocolate dip meringue cookies. I wanted to do something very different for this last meringue, and I appreciate that you need a few pieces of equipment to make these ones, but I created just a small low meringue and took the tail off the top of each one. And you'll also need some push pop cupcake cases, sprinkles, buttercream, and I used an assortment of coloured cupcakes. And when your meringues are cool, you can prepare your cupcakes. I just simply took the dome off the top of each cupcake and the bottom off each one, and using a circle cutter the same size as my push pop cupcake case, I simply removed the centre from each one of the coloured cupcakes. If you don't have a circle cutter, you can actually use the case of the push pop itself to cut out your circles. And with a serrated edge knife, I just simply cut each cupcake centre into 3 layers. And with that buttercream in a piping bag, I place a small amount at the base of the cupcake push pop, and that's just to help that first layer of cake stick. And then I went in with a little bit more buttercream, and then in with a piece of that meringue, and then another piece of buttercream, and that'll just stop that meringue drawing the moisture out of that cupcake. And then I repeated this step again, so in with some more buttercream, another piece of meringue, a little bit more buttercream, and a different colour of cupcake. And for this final layer, I just went in with some buttercream and then a layer of cake. A little bit of buttercream to finish, decorated with some of them beautiful sprinkles. I actually made my cake colours to match the sprinkles I was using. And that's been 6 completely different styles of meringues. Thank you very much for watching.